We have a special. We have a wonderful special in store for you tonight. And for the second time in the history of Guitar Tales, I had goosebumps and my eyes welled up, and I'm not kidding. We have Old Grey Guitarist, 4.6 million views on America's Got Talent on their YouTube edition of this performance. Unbelievable. Great story coming up. And before we pull him out of the green room with the great Scott guitarist Engel, publicist extraordinaire, co-host extraordinaire, we have some sponsors. Confections of a Rock Star in Asbury Park, Rock and Roll Bakery. That's the best thing I could say. Delicious, fun, and my absolute favorite part, not the mini cupcakes, but they're great. Not the macaroons, but they're great. But the pupcakes. Buy them for your pooch. It's fabulous. And just as good when you're hungry for a meal. Alice Cooper's starving right now. A burger. Andy's Burgers. Look at this. Check this out. Look how good that is. Little Andy's Burger. They started out as a part of Confections of a Rock Star. Now they have their own space. They have perfected the burger, the covered fries, everything on Cookman Avenue in Asbury Park. So thank you so much to our sponsors. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do the work we're doing right now. And I have to tell you, getting ready for the show tonight, I watched for maybe the 20th time that video, but I knew I had this great guest on. His real name, his full name is John Wines, but he goes by Old Grey Guitarist. I actually had to pull a napkin out of my desk and wipe my tears away. It was a moment. It was a moment shared by 4.6 million people, and I watched the audience, and to me, that moment was when the first power chord came. But let's get my dear friend of 40 plus years who put this show together.
I was literally saying that while I was in the virtual green room, that when he hits that power chord,
Oh my God.
if I had hair, let's say the hair on my arms, because, being an Italian guy, I got a lot of that.
Yeah.
Stood on end. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stood on end. I'm not bullshitting.
It's a triumph. It's
And the way they cut it together with the people going crazy in the audience and stuff.
and it's
It was
yeah.
and getting Simon Cowell's sort of like, all right, I guess I'm going to be involved. You know what I mean? He kind of reluctantly jumped, but as John kept playing, he
Yeah.
became more and more involved, and he got him. You know that this is a moment as a performer, and you have your audience. And John
Yeah.
had total control over
He
that
did.
audience.
And then my favorite part, and then I guess we'll pull him in a second.
Yeah.
So I'm getting these, and I'm literally I'm wiping tears. And then when we cut back and I start watching again, when I'm kind of, he was tearing up at the end of his performance because he understood, and we'll let him tell us. But I think he understood that was a moment.
Yeah,
Really,
I'm dying to hear the backstory of
yeah.
preparing for that, getting the call, flying to the United States, and did they just throw you out there? Do you get a sound check? All that kind of stuff. So let's
Yeah.
bring John in, and here he is, all the way from the United Kingdom.
Hi guys.
Let's put John in the big space.
Oh, there we go.
There we
Wait, not
go.
yet. There we go.
Ah!
Sorry to move you around like that.
No, that's all
I
right.
have the pawn. I get to move things around from my side.
Yeah.
So good evening from where you're coming from. Good afternoon from where we're coming from here in New Jersey. And welcome to the show, John.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Great,
We're
great.
good.
I'm so
Oh,
happy to have you on, and I'm glad you didn't think I was a robot bothering you.
oh no.
Sometimes I do these cold calls, and people just go, "Oh, that can't possibly be real."
I've
Yeah.
had one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I got just to start it. So Scott and I had the same visceral reaction. And then after I had mine, I come back to the monitor and you looked like you were overtaken with emotion.
Oh god, yeah. I'll
what
never
were
forget it.
what were the emotions you were feeling?
Like a rabbit caught in the headlights. Because I genuinely thought that I might have been one of those guests that were put up there to, the joke ones. Do
Right,
you know what
right.
I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought, well, they're not going to like this. Are you serious? Is this, but I thought, well, I don't mind taking a rise out of myself. So I didn't care. But, so I never, ever expected it to go down the way it did. It wasn't even a thought. It wasn't even a thought. So,
Mm.
you know, the best that could have happened was I got a few round of applause. But, when the judges have stood up, and the crowd's going crazy, and then they started screaming for more, and it was just surreal. It was really, really surreal.
Wow. And it's not like you're someone who was famous going in. You're
No, 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 not at all. No, no. I mean, I had a fairish following on social media already, but
okay.
but that's nothing compared. What I don't know, probably have 1.5 million, maybe, just less than that. But the chances of any of them being in the audience are very remote.
Right. And you seem by nature a humble person.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do it. I never set out to do it at all. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm great, I could do that. No, that
Mm.
was the furthest thing from my mind. It all happened by accident. So it was, and not forgetting that I left England on the Tuesday afternoon, and at 9 a.m. on the Saturday, like what's that, 5 days later, at 9 a.m., me and my wife are eating breakfast in our living room, wondering what the heck actually happened.
Yeah.
So, it was
Wow.
a total whirlwind. It's not like, you go there and then you've got like days and days of practice or anything like that. No, it's in there, do it, bye bye.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
It's,
is
yeah.
there a auditioning process that happens in your area? Is that how that all goes down?
No, not at all. No, I mean, it all came about. It all came about because I'm a teacher. That's what I do.
Okay.
That's what I love doing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
Um,
your new your website, your little
yeah,
online
it's
school. We'll get
yeah,
to that for sure.
that's what I love doing. And I had a student. If we go back, 6 months before the audition, because that was in the March. Um, and I had a student who was really, really nervous about an upcoming concert at school, because where I work at the Bourne Academy, we do like, I think 15, 16 concerts a year.
Mm.
You're lucky if one school does one.
Yeah.
So there is constantly, which is a lot of work, and it does your head in sometimes, but there's nothing better than watching your students up there playing. And she was just on another level in nerves. And she actually just said to me in a lesson one day, and I said, look, don't worry about it. I know you will. You won't believe me now, but you'll go out there, you'll do it, you'll love it. And as soon as you come off stage, you'll want to go back out and do it again.
Yeah.
And of course, that actually happened.
Right.
But, they don't know. It's completely alien to them, isn't it? And she said to me in the lesson one day, she said, yeah, but it's all right for you, sir. You don't get nervous anymore. And I thought, well, yeah, okay, I do, but, not on your level, obviously. And I kind of know what's going to happen. literally within a day or two, I was just scrolling through Instagram, I think it was, and there was just an advert for virtual auditions for AGT, and I just chuckled to myself. Her words came into my head, and I thought, well, if I did that, that would make me nervous. And
Right.
literally, I thought, oh, go on, apply, and so I did, and give them to fill out the forms and links to your socials and all that. And totally and utterly forgot all about it. I mean, just never gave it a second thought whatsoever. And literally, the only reason for doing it was to say, oh, well, I did tried to audition once, so I know where you're coming from. And then we fast forward to Christmas, and just after Christmas, we went back to school, and it was on the first week back, and I was waiting for an email from someone who I'd offered to help out as a charity. And I thought, why haven't they got back to me? I thought, oh, okay, I've offered you my help, because like it was a charity that goes into inner cities and works with kids that have got no money. And I thought, well, look, I've got a little bit of a platform. If I can help you out, I will do, because that's what I love doing. And they hadn't got back to me. This was like a week or two. And I thought, oh, I wonder if it went to my spam folder. And who checks their spam? I mean, you don't, do you? Because it's all rubbish. It's all rubbish. And, a Nigerian prince wants to put $150 million in your account.
You should have taken it.
Well, that reminds me, he still hasn't paid up, so I must give him another email. Actually, there is another scam going around at the moment, actually. I'll tell you about it later. But so I went in there, and it wasn't there, but there was this one from a guy called Kazu Agawara from allegedly America's Got Talent. We've seen your socials. We love what you do. How do you fancy setting up a Zoom call to see if you'd like to come over here and audition? And I was with the IT bloke at the time. It was at the school. And I get scams all the day in, day out. We all do. Like the Nigerian prince or
well, that's why I was worried
whatever.
about reaching out to you, thinking it was bullshit.
Well, yeah. But and it had gone to my spam. So obviously I'm thinking, well, this is definitely rubbish. This is.
Right.
And I said, and I just said to him as a joke, and if I hadn't have done, then I probably wouldn't have done no more about it. But I said, look, they're even trying to scam me on this. And he looked at it and he went, I don't. And he had a look online. He said, look, that bloke exists. He said, I'd have another look. He said, I actually think this is genuine. I said, get the out of here. You know what I mean? Like, you must be joking. And it wasn't. And he said, honestly, right, okay. And it had only been in there 2 days.
Right.
So luckily it had only been there. So basically I got back to them. I said, look, I'm ever so sorry. It went to be spam, blah, blah, blah. And that just set off a whole chain reaction, and then it's like you set up. And I really thought I'd blown it on the first call I had with him. And he was a lovely guy. And I think he's still doing it now. And he was such a good guy. He really was. And we had the first meeting, and at the end, and it was going all right. It's like 15, 20 minutes. So I thought, all right, okay, this is going all right. And then he asked me a question. And he said, do you mind if I ask you how old you are? And at the time, I said, no. I said, I'm 59. He went, oh, really shocked. And because I know I look a lot older. I'm 61 now, and I know I look a lot older. So I'm kind of thinking that, oh, right, they were obviously looking for some really old guy. But as it happened, it wasn't. They love what I did. And then, of course, we get involved in the music, the guys in the music department. And then we have to thrash out what we're going to do. And videos are going forward, back, forward.
So they gave you kind of a track to play to?
Yeah, basically we were I wanted to do one of my best performing videos, which was Crazy, the Niles Barkley thing, CeeLo Green, but he said no, we can't get clearance for that because it's Danger Mouse and he won't allow it. There's a lot of things you can't do. They said don't even think about doing any Guns N' Roses, and I thought, oh, that's a shame because I love doing Slash. But there you go. And then they come back to me one day and they said, look, we've just come across this live version of We Will Rock You. How do you fancy that? I said, yeah, love Queen, of course I do. You know, love
Yeah.
Brian May. It was a Bohemian Rhapsody that first went viral for me. So you know, so basically, yeah, they gave me a backing track, and then we had to alter it because then I had the idea of starting it with the dive bombs and what have you, you know, the motorcycle start and what have you.
But it
So yeah,
it gets your attention. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you're putting on a performance. So there's
yeah,
a lot
that's
of
right.
performance elements in there, you know?
Now, I
Yeah.
noticed at the very beginning, as you're setting up, the guitar amp was doing what guitar amps do. Was that
Yeah,
intent? And then
loads of
the camera pans to strained looks on the audience, like, who the hell is this
yeah,
guy? Was that
yeah.
intentional or was that just you setting up?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know. Because you're out there and it's like it could well have happened. I've got a high gain setting. I'm going through a Fender Twin, and I've got the Black Star dual drive pedal and a compressor and a tube screamer, you know, to really
Yeah,
get
I saw the
to
pedal
ring
board there. I mean,
yeah.
you could have dumbed that down in a big way and just went into some, you know, modeling amp and been done with it.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't into. I am now. I've got a fractal unit now,
Oh, they're great.
but I wasn't into the modeling then. But that's the sound that I, you know, was using for my videos at home. So I mean, I didn't know what amp I was going to get when I went over there or whatever. So I mean, luckily it was a Fender Twin, so I was happy. Best
Yeah.
play. Fender really do the best pedal platform amps, but they're really great. So you know, I could easily get my sound. So that was an advantage. So yes, it may well have happened. I can't tell you because it's all a little bit of a blur. You know, you're
Yeah.
out there
Yeah.
and you're just trying to think. Now, which bit's first?
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Right.
you know,
Well,
and you try
as a
not to mess
performer
up.
myself, I always say to myself after every gig, and we call it a no hitter. I've never had a no
Right.
hitter where I go out and I play an entire gig without any mistakes. I know
Oh no, no,
there are
no, no,
mistakes.
no.
When you look at the
Yeah,
video, do you go, "Ooh, that
yeah,
sucked," or "That was good," or "That looked great," or "That came out better than I thought"?
yeah. I
Are you
was
very
ahead.
hypercritical of your performance?
Yes, I mean, I was ahead of the beat on the first part, but that's like drummers are always going faster
Yeah.
when they're nervous. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know, most people, let's be honest, won't know that.
No.
You know, I mean, we tell the kids, you know, I always refer to like the band on a Titanic with kids. You know, it's like you're going to make mistakes, all
Yeah.
right? But whatever happens, and I'll tell you something that did happen. You do not stop.
Hmm.
You don't stop.
Or
You
make a
just carry
face
on.
or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've just got to keep going, even if it's going horribly. You can't stop because if you stop, everybody will know that there's a problem.
Hmm.
If
Right.
you don't, then most won't. They won't know.
No.
They won't know. And there was a problem. And when I after the first, you know, when it hit the power chord, hit the harmonic, dive bomb, and it's never happened before, and I've never had it happen since. And I'll show you what happened. Well, hang on.
I know what you're about to talk about because I heard it, but I want to hear you say
Oh,
it.
really? I
Right,
didn't
Yeah.
hear
yeah.
anything. I was too busy wiping the tears from my eyes.
All right. So
There it is.
basically,
That's the AGT
yeah.
sound.
Oh.
So when I dived, somehow that top E string,
It got
I'd like to
stuck.
know how, got stuck underneath the pickup.
No way.
So it was like, there you go. And then I had to quickly dive bomb it again. I mean, obviously they got different camera angles, so and they knew that I'd done that.
Oh,
So
that's
they
crazy.
obviously panned away. But you know, it was a split second. But that's
Nerve
yeah, you're a
wracking.
musician. If it's gonna
Yeah.
go wrong, it's gonna go wrong absolutely at the worst possible time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Wow.
I could have stopped there, but luckily I didn't because it would never have worked otherwise.
Right.
So you know, you can't stop. That's
Because you're working off the
absolute.
element of surprise. You know, they see this old guy come out there and
Yeah.
he's got
Yeah.
an
Oh,
electric
it
guitar,
was.
you
Yeah,
know,
it was
and
set up like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
you would lose that sense of
Yeah.
surprise. Yeah. If
Yeah.
you had to
That's
do it
right.
again.
Wait. So
You know, so
yeah,
why it happened, I don't know, but it
when
just happened.
when we opened the show, I talked about like twice in the history. We've been on for 6 years. We've been on the air.
Right.
My dear friends, and it later became Scott's great friends, a local band Nixon's Head. I got all emotional. But there is something similar. They're just a local band. Our friend Andy Rosenau, who's their singer, comes across just like this nice, affable, dare I say, nerdy guy.
Yeah.
He's their singer, and then all of a sudden, when he starts singing, he's a badass. And and I saw that on your face.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you're a nice, affable guy, and I think at some point when you knew you were owning that stage, and I think it was subconscious, I'm not thinking that you had
Yeah.
this inner dialogue, I think it just happened, you became badass during that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
kinda
I mean,
you arched your back with right? I
I
think it was
yeah.
think
the
we all
power chord.
become, I'm a pharmacist in real life, and
Oh,
I've never booked a gig from the pharmacy and vice versa because here I am in the
right.
white coat, I'm giving vaccines and stuff. It doesn't and when they go to my page and they see me, on stage and doing the things that I
Yeah.
do, they go, "Is that really you?"
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, that's
Mm,
really me."
Yeah, Scott's a
It's it's
badass
it's a
on
whole
stage too.
'nother, like,
yeah.
alter ego,
Yeah. It
But
is.
you have to
It's,
bring it. You have to perform. That's what people wanna see,
yeah.
they wanna
Yeah. It
see you
is.
perform.
Yeah.
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 Was
Sorry,
your
Carol.
emotion afterwards, was that kinda relief that it went
Yes.
great?
Well, it was surprise, I would say, is the first
Yeah.
thing, without any shadow of a doubt.
Yeah,
It's
like,
Yeah.
like,
"What the
why are
hell
these
just happened?"
guys?
I
Yeah,
thought
no,
they were
it
gonna
was
goof on me
because,
and hit the button.
it's 2 minutes. You've got 2 minutes to make an impression. Obviously, you've got all the talking first and what have you,
Yeah.
which, that don't help, because you really just, in the back of your mind, in a minute, I've got to go and play, and I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
don't want to do this.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
really don't want to, but I know I've got to.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, I'll enjoy it, which obviously I did. Halfway through, you could hear the crowd going on, and then suddenly it's like, this is all right, actually. So I relaxed into it a little bit, but
The
you're
adrenaline.
so concentrated on
Yeah.
what you've got to do,
But you're
because
not
you've
even in
got
a
one
band
shot.
situation where you have other mates there to kinda back
No,
you up. You're there by yourself with a loud
that,
guitar in a
yeah,
weird place, and
yeah,
you've been thrown out there, and it's kinda like,
yeah,
you're using their back line. God only knows. It could have
yeah,
been a shitty amp. Lucky for
yeah.
you, when I was on Guitar Tales for the first time, he gave me a crate solid state amp. Remember that, Dave?
Oh,
I do.
yeah.
Was that my amp?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like this
I
Yeah.
thing
remember the crate stuff. They did sound like a crate.
You sure that
Yeah,
wasn't
they
my
weren't.
Laney that I have right here? My little
No, I don't
Laney?
even know where that
Oh,
amp came
Laney's all
from.
right.
Yeah. Mine's
Yeah,
a
No.
little
but yeah,
Laney.
you're right. So relief that it's over. Utter shock. Not only the crowd going crazy, but four judges on their feet.
Yeah.
I had never even. I mean, you imagine a million scenarios, but I give you my word, that was not one of them.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
it just like, what's going on? It didn't make any sense. It was, yeah, it was. I
And you
can't
and you had
explain
the
it.
and you had the right song choice.
It worked.
It works well with the crowd. I mean, you could have played any song, it might have tanked. Who the
Yeah.
hell knows?
It might well have done. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, they got the music department. They got it absolutely right with that.
Yeah, they
There's
did.
no
Well,
question about that.
I have a question. So
Yeah.
back home, whether it's family, friends, coworkers, I have this vision of AGT and you're in like a nice pub with the people who love
Right.
you. Did you watch it at any point with a big crowd with all your friends cheering for you?
No, I mean, I watched. The thing was, when you do that, that was done March 28th, 29th,
Right.
of
23.
23.
Yeah.
Yeah, 23. And there's no guarantee that you're going to get any airtime. Now,
Oh.
Oh.
obviously, there's no guarantee. They tell you that. It's like 100,000 people apply. They tell you that. 200 are chosen to go before the judges. Maybe 70 or 80 actually get airtime.
Hmm.
And not all of them will be a good act,
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
obviously have
The silly ones.
the strange element, if you
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's an entertainment show. Let's
Right,
make
at the end of
no.
the day, it's, it's
Yeah,
what
it's
made
all
the Gong
about
Show so great.
entertainment.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So it was just. Yeah, it was all a bit, like I say, all a bit of a whirlwind. But like, so we didn't know, and it wasn't. And I'll always remember the date. It was June the 6th, and we'd been to see Roger Waters at the O2 in London, which is about 2 hours away from us. And a great concert. And literally, we got the underground, the tube, because we parked about 3/4 of an hour away, because you can't drive in the centre of London. Forget
Yeah.
it. You just cannot do it.
Plus, you're
It's
driving on
So
the steering wheel's on the wrong side of the car, and you're on the
no,
wrong
it's on
side
the
of the road.
right side.
You can't see over the bonnet.
But so it was like we were on the underground, and we come back when the underground becomes the overground, so where we're coming back to where the car is. And of course my phone pings off with emails, and there's the email from AGT saying you're going to be shown next week.
Wow.
So, and it was no, actually it wasn't. No, I tell a lie. It was then that they said, we'd love to invite you back for the semi-finals.
Oh.
So I thought, right, well, if I'm being invited back for the semi-finals, which is really what I want, then obviously they're going to show it. And then literally the next day, they said it's in a week's time. And I had to watch it on the internet, because you can't, unless you had a VPN, you can't get it in the UK. So literally I watched it, I think, down here when it came through. And then I went in and saw my wife, because I wanted to see how bad it was first on my own. And I said, right, it's on. Let's go up to the bedroom and watch it on the telly.
It's funny you say that. You're just talking reminds me, every time I play a gig, there's hundreds of phones out there taking video of me.
Yeah.
And I know I screwed up one song. I'm like, I pray to God somebody didn't video that and shared it with everybody before I could have a look at it. But I've never asked anyone to take anything down, because, like you said, people don't know.
No.
But my guitar playing peers know, and they go, "Oh, you really hit a sour note there, didn't you? Oh, you saw that video, huh?"
But yeah, so it's so I did know what the edit was going to be like.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I couldn't even really remember what the judges said, or what I even said to the judges, because when you go out there, you were just trying to concentrate, and they would leave. And I do remember going out there, because I had no monitor, and I said hello, and of course I never heard anything back. So that's why I said, can you hear me? Of course they could. Of course they could. I'm being an idiot. I mean, this is a major, this is not down the local pub with a sound engineer who doesn't.
But
know
in a
what
funny
he's doing,
way, it came off as it almost came off as like, "Are you with me?" When you said, "Can you hear me?" It was like it looked like you were trying to get the crowd riled up ahead of time.
I think it's just make me look like an idiot, which I was, in all fairness, because, like I say, but I didn't have a monitor, and you know what it's like when you're speaking.
Oh yeah.
Or you always hear it back.
100%.
And of course I didn't. So that's why I said it. I thought you would leave that in, wouldn't you? But it was all part of the build up, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, who's this idiot?
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. I don't mind.
Well, that's why when you had the sort of feedback scratchiness in the beginning, it sort of added to the drama, because the producers, they were smart. They edited in all these doubting faces, like, ugh, who's this guy? Who's this old joker? And that was really good editing, because then when everyone's face is like, ooh, 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 and they get up, it just, in the drama, it was.
They know what they're doing.
They do.
Oh boy, do they know.
They manipulated we audience members.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they did.
They know how to spin a yarn.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's that build up. This is going to be just terrible.
Right.
And then suddenly, hang on.
Playing on a TV show in itself is stressful. We've had guests on that did the Tonight Show. We've had guests on that did Letterman, and no practice. Cool. They shove you out there as a back line. Play. There's and it's just very, very stressful. And you're worrying about your equipment working, like any gig, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're talking about stage fright, I think the genesis of stage fright, for me anyway, personally, is that my shit's not going to work, right? My strings are going to
Right.
break,
Yes.
or the
Oh
amps,
yeah.
or I'm going to
Yeah.
blow a tube, or
That's
fall
right.
off
And
the stage, or hurt myself or something.
you break a string on a Floyd, that's
Yeah,
it.
I'm
It's
a
game
Floyd. I'm a
over.
Floyd guy, so I know
Yeah,
I
there's
know the horrors of
nothing
that.
you can do.
You got to reach
Nothing
for
you
another
can do about
guitar.
it at all.
Keep
Yeah,
playing while I get another guitar plugged in.
yep. You've got no choice.
But
There's
again, without a
no
band, you have
recovery.
no safety cushion. You're there by
No.
yourself. It's
No, I know. That's it. Yeah, tell me about it.
astonishing
Yeah.
pressure.
Yeah, it is a lot more pressurized. You know, you can't look at the drummer and blame him, you know. Which is such a shame.
Like Roger Daltrey just did.
Yeah.
Oh right,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Oh
drummer.
yeah, he had a big blow up, didn't he?
Yeah,
With
They
yeah.
did. They
Starkey.
did. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I was gonna play drums for them, but it's too far away.
Oh, right.
So, John, let's switch gears a little bit and tell us. We heard a little bit about your role as a teacher. Tell us about this
Yeah.
university you've got. And I got a really pretty
Uh,
QR code to pop up here so you chat about it.
Yeah, I mean, basically, what I've done is I've just created a guitar beginners. Now, obviously, most of my work every year when I go back to school in September, I'll have all the new guys coming into school. Most of them would never have played before, or may just have a guitar and have done Smoke on the Water on one string or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've kind of created the course for, I think there's about 35 videos.
Oh, wow.
Something like that, where it basically takes you through all the questions that I ever get asked, like, well, should I have an acoustic or an electric? You know, how do I hold it? How do I hold the pick? You know, so it's all those things. But there's things in there that I think a lot of people don't do. And this is one of my bugbears, is a lot of teachers, they and schools, they just rely on giving the kids the lyrics with the chords above it. Yeah. Now that's great, that's brilliant if you sing.
Oh, right,
80% of us don't. So
Right.
you need to know how to count through a proper lead sheet or a proper chord chart. I don't want to know what the lyrics are. I just want to know where I am musically. So, you know, I go through reading rhythms in that. We learn how to read chord charts, which is how you work on a gig. You know that.
Yeah.
I've done depths where it's like, well, do you know so and so the song? No, I never heard of it. All right, no worries. I'll just scratch you out a chart. No worries. That's it. And you're away. You can just play it. I don't, you know, and I've talked to kids over the many years, and I reckon 80% of them much prefer a chord chart, lead sheet, rather than the lyrics with the chords above it.
Yeah.
I don't want to know
like
it,
that.
they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
some people like that, but it's okay if you know the song and you know where the lyrics are, so you know where the changes. But I much prefer to count my way through things. You know, I'm listening to the drummer. So.
I wanted to go back. You mentioned something about you know, acoustic guitars versus electric and students.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? I know my answer. This is like an ongoing
for beginners. My personal opinion is start on the electric because it's easier.
Thank you. Yes,
it is. You get all these people who say, no, but you'll build up more strength from an acoustic. Yeah, you will if you keep going.
Yes.
But listen, when I was around 9 years old, I pestered my parents for a guitar. Now, you know what it's like nowadays. It's pretty hard to buy a budget instrument that's bad. In them days, you could virtually never buy a budget instrument that was any good. And the action on it, you could drive a bus under.
Yeah.
So I never, ever played that thing because it was just too damn hard to play. So I never took it up. Now, if I'd have had an electric maybe, or even, you know, something with a decent action, I probably would have taken it up. I don't know. That you can never prove.
Yeah.
And I do get the camp that says that, but I know it puts people off.
Absolutely.
So therefore, I always, you know, we do. I'll give you. I will give you a funny story. And it's many years ago at the Bourne Academy where I work. And I have this year 7 kid. That's the first year that comes into us in that school. It goes from year 7 to year 13. And he come in, and I said, and I teach bass and ukulele as well. I'm not a bass player, though, please. I play a bit of uke, which is quite good fun. And I said, oh, what instrument you here for then, mate? And he said, oh, electric guitar. I said, oh, yeah, magic. I said, yeah, great. There you go. Grab a weapon of choice, like, from a rack. And he picked it up, and I said, like I asked all of them, I said, have you ever played any other instrument? And he said, yeah, I played a cow stick. And I said, a cow stick? I said, you mean a cowbell? He said, no, a cow stick. Like that one. Points to acoustic guitar.
Oh my God.
Yeah, righto, mate. Thanks very much. Never mind.
And there's something very magical about once you get the student going and you introduce him to distortion.
Oh my
And
God.
how you could make a power chord with just 2 strings,
Yeah.
which is a lot nicer than trying to play a chord, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Too right it is. Yeah. So
and
yeah.
Then,
So
and then they get the bug, you know.
Yeah, that is my personal opinion. Is that you should start on it. I know it's more expensive to start with. I do understand that.
But
you know, but and anything's better than nothing.
yeah.
But I want to make it as easy as possible.
Yeah.
And then you grab them, and then when they've got that, then you can start. You know, making things more difficult.
It's not just that's not just your opinion. It's actually the correct opinion.
I think so.
I've been telling people that for
parents
years.
Appreciate you could put earphones on and have to listen to Jim
that's
wailing
true.
away on the guitar all hours of the night.
That stupid conventional wisdom, because all it does is it turns so many kids away from playing. Yeah.
Yep, it does. And what's the point in that?
Yeah.
So okay, so you only spent 50 quid then. Well, you just wasted that 50 quid. If you'd have spent 150 quid, you might not have wasted it.
Right.
But I do understand, I understand both ways, but that, like I say, I honestly believe, that's the way forward. And most of the stuff, there are some that have got an acoustic and they just come in and they just want to go. And, and I set the guitars up at school so that they've got a pretty good action anyway.
Yeah. By the way,
and we put light gauge on them. So
you made history. This is the first time on Guitar Tales someone said quid.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's the English.
I love that. You are you're our fourth guest from the UK, but you're our third guest broadcasting from the UK. We had a guy, Johnny Bullitt, who lives in London, but we taped it when he was in New York. But we've had Becky Baldwin, who's a bass player.
Oh, yes, I know Becky. I've met her. Yes, I met her at the guitar show in Birmingham last year, I think it was, because we're both signed to Daddario.
Oh, okay.
So she's a Daddario.
Oh, and I almost forgot. We did this for her. We have to do this for you too. We'll change the background. There we go.
There we go.
Oh. Love it. Yeah. So I know who else you had on?
Keith Zander from Zander and the Peace Pirates. Keith is a marvelous guitar player, and he has an appendage because he had an accident as a kid. He plays guitar with a hook. So he named his band a pirate band. He tapes or whatever the pick into the hook, and he goes crazy.
Right. And he's outstanding. Cool. I watch his videos almost every single day.
Yeah.
Right. And he's outstanding.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's great when you've got people with disability and they overcome that. And I have shown countless students across the years that have said, oh no, that hurts me fingers, or oh, that's too hard and I can't get it. So then I show them like the big toe guitarist. I said, this guy's got no arms.
He plays,
and then there's this other guy that's doing Van Halen and he's got no arms. And I said, you got a problem?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all right then. Yeah, no. Yeah, so I think it's great. I think that's totally inspiring.
Yeah, he was fantastic, and what a player! You check him out.
Oh yeah, and then I was thinking Jerry Garcia. Look at him; he lost a couple of fingers. You know,
Tony Iommi and his little.
Well, that was They said he'd never play again, and then you go right back to Django, of course.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
People
of course.
Still can't work out what he did.
Yeah.
80 years later or whatever. Yeah. And they still can't copy what he did.
No.
Crikey.
Yeah.
Who are your musical guitar heroes now and growing up? Are there a whole bunch of them, or is this
Probably.
one in particular that you really
Well,
like to shine?
probably Gary Moore was always my favourite.
Oh, I love Gary Moore.
Yeah.
You know, there was just, and when he went to blues, it totally changed my playing.
Hmm.
And I think, in all fairness, it was probably Jeff Healey who really turned me on to that rock blues thing.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the day I first heard him. I was working as an electrician then, and we were working in a Kodak plant at a weekend, and it was shut down. And literally they had Radio 1 on, which I would never listen to ever. And then suddenly, and I can't remember if it was, I think it was Confidence Man that they played, and I just stopped work because who the heck is this? The playing was just like, I love this. And I just stopped and I made sure, and it was like, oh, this is by Jeff Healey, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know at the time he was blind.
Right.
I literally down tools.
Talking about disabilities, there's a guy on his lap and adapting and playing it like this. I mean, it's crazy what you can overcome.
And I went straight round the corner and ordered it, and we couldn't get it, and they had to import it from America at the time. And then of course it wasn't long after that Gary Moore turned to the blues. And then it was just like, oh, this is where that's where I love. So Gary Moore definitely was. But there's loads of people. Gilmour, I love Floyd. My favorite album is The Wall.
Yeah, I mean, Gilmour, note efficiency, Yeah.
You don't need many. You just need the right ones. And he knows which ones are right.
And then that's a good point. If you're teaching students, they get hung up on flurries of notes and playing fast and stuff. And you don't have to play fast to make an impact on somebody's emotions. Look, it's just the way it is.
We're going through that phase again, aren't we? We're going through that phase again where everything's shred crazy again. And it's really clever. And don't get me wrong. And I went to an event earlier this year. I won't say what it was, otherwise the people might know who I'm talking about. And there was some guys there, and there was 3 in particular that were just off the scale. I mean, playing wise, they were right up there with Guthrie. They were unbelievable players, and Guthrie's a bit different. I love Guthrie. But at the end of the day, I was kind of thinking, all those 3 guys, they were all kind of playing the same thing, though.
Right.
There was no real. It was I mean, I could never play that fast and that clean ever, and I totally get how much work they put into it, and I understand that. But there wasn't really any individuality about it.
That's
it was almost generic. I mean, I'd still love to do it. Don't get me wrong. So I'm not saying they were bad, because they weren't. They were absolutely on top of their game. But then you think, like you say, you just think about note efficiency, and Gilmour was perfect for that. He doesn't need that many notes. He doesn't need it.
No, and that's why Pete hired him.
He was. He's just the most fabulous. And Brian May, obviously, there's so many of these guys. Angus Young he always gets overlooked. Angus, always gets overlooked.
Their studio, whatever the hell happened in their studio, they should be like this sloppy, dirty band, but it's clean, it's crisp, and it's dirty all at the same time.
Not like Van Halen's studio with the beer cans and dirt. There's a girdle on the floor.
Eddie, of course, that was, I'm still reeling a bit from his loss, obviously.
He was but he created his own style of playing.
Yeah.
I remember when I first heard it,
question.
I thought, is that a synthesizer? That's not a guitar.
Right.
He just came up with crazy things that you don't normally do on guitar, and then you just but it wasn't like an afterthought. We've all done that at home. Like I remember the first time I took a drumstick to a guitar to see what would happen.
Right.
And I thought I was being an ingenious, I invented. You can't really invent something on your own. Somebody's always done it before you.
Oh yeah.
But he's taken that glimpse of an idea that's ridiculous and then made it part of his playing, and
he brought it to the masses. That's what he did.
And
I think after Hendrix, he was, in my opinion, the most influential guitarist.
Oh,
You know, I think
unquestionably, in my opinion, too.
Jimmy totally ripped up the rule book and went,
Right.
Yeah.
man, this is what I love. And we wouldn't be here without him.
Yep.
And I don't think there's a guitarist alive. They might say that they're not influenced by him, but they are, because he just did so many things first.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think it was Eddie who really shook the whole world up.
Well, you look at Hendrix and you look guitar playing in his era and what he was doing. You know,
Oh,
people blow it off like, "Oh, that's not so hard to play." Well, that's not the point.
Yeah.
He came up with this in totally different way to play guitar. Now, if you're a guitar teacher and you're watching that back then, he's got his thumb hooked over, the thing strung up backwards. He's beating the shit out of the whammy bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's playing at high volumes, you know.
So do you teach your students how to control feedback like he did, or are they less advanced than that, your students?
Yeah, most of them are less advanced than that. I mean, we do, when we get into sort of some dirty playing with the distortion and whatever, you know, because a lot of people say, oh, should always practice clean because distortion masks problems. Now, okay, yes, it can, but distortion creates its own problems.
Yeah.
You have got to mute. Half of playing this instrument is learning what not to play. You've got to be damping with this and this hand. You just got to be. It's so distortion really can bring your sloppiness to the forefront as well. So yes, it can mask problems, but it creates its own as well. So you have to go through that.
And you have to tame the beast. You have to tame the beast.
You do. Yeah, there's no question about that.
Do you remember the first time you plugged into a high volume amplifier and how uncontrollable? I just remember, like, I just touched the strings and it was loud as shit. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to play
great though, isn't it?
It's a good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember actually last year at our Guitar Summit in Germany, which is like massive guitar show. I got to go to, it's a silent show. It's not like NAMM. So it's a silent show, which when I went in there to start with was a bit weird. But after half an hour, I thought, you know what, this is brilliant because you could talk to people. Oh, it was great.
Silent show, genius.
And then I got to go to the live room where a guy's got a switcher with probably 100 amps, and a few people lucky enough to go in there, and I was lucky enough to be one of them. And they had a high watt amp on full. Oh boy, was that great. Was that just like, oh, I like this.
Remember day we were talking to Rudy Sarzo and he tried John Entwistle's rig and everything was on 10. Literally, the whole thing was on 10. He's like, it was unplayable. He couldn't tame the beast, as David said.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was awful.
No, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like a big stack that's ramped right up. You get that natural compression with the valves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the modelers now are brilliant. They are.
Yeah.
But you've got to look at a modeler as another rig, not an instead of rig.
Right.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got their place, and so is a big stack that's just turned right up. You know, that's how they used to do it. That's how, think Kossoff. Just think Kossoff, what he could do. It just, I mean, there was no tube screamers or anything like that. Just straight into a Marshall, whacked right up, and he would make that note sing for days.
Yeah.
And that's from him. That's from him. That's not through any algorithm.
Yeah. Can you imagine a studio when you've got a handful of Marshall stacks on 10-ish? Like blood pouring out of your ears, but the sound, oh my God.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Jim Marshall?
No, hang on. I think he
used to do a lot of the NAMM shows and stuff.
Yeah, I think I might have met him at a show here, but many years ago. I don't think I met him I think I saw him. Funnily enough, I should have done this the last few weeks, but I've been so busy. I have been offered to go up to the Marshall factory and do it, and I will go up there and do a tour. You know, and I think up there you get to, you know, you got Randy Rhodes's head and what have you. So that'd be
Wow.
great to have a go through that. So I will go up there at one point because I met Steph, I think his name is, at NARM this year, and he said, "Come on up, man. You know, come on up and let's have some fun. I'll show
That's
you
awesome.
around."
I actually
So,
met Jim Marshall at a show, and I didn't know who he was.
oh right, well
I
he was a drummer, of
talk
course.
about Old Grey Guitarist. There's this old guy behind this. I thought he was just working the, the concession or whatever. And I was actually with Peter Frampton, believe it or not, which is a whole nother
Oh
long
right,
story.
oh yeah.
And Peter
That's
says, "I
another
want you to
great
meet my
player.
friend Jim." And I go, "Nice to meet you, Jim." And then later in the day, we're talking, and he goes, "That was Jim Marshall." I'm like, "No!"
Oh yeah, it's that
He's like,
name, isn't it? It's
but I guess
synonymous.
in a cool
Yeah.
way, it was like, "Hey, man, nice to meet you," and I moved on, and instead of making a big deal. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
boy, I
you
was
probably
so
came out
upset.
better.
I was so upset.
Yeah.
I go, "Why'd you tell me?" Well, he's there at the
Actually,
Marshall stand. I mean, I don't know.
funnily enough, I had a similar thing at NARM this year, and I was on the Valiant Guitars and Tube Workshop amps. They had a shared stand, and I said I did some playing there, and there was this little old black guy there. You know, I can't remember his name now. That's terrible. And he said afterwards, he said, "Oh man, it's great to hear some blues." He said, "I love blues," and he's real. I said, "Yeah." And I had been introduced, but there's so much noise at NARM, you don't know what's going
Yeah.
on. And I said,
Don't
and
tell me
he
you
was a
met Buddy
bass.
Guys. This is gonna end the
No,
story. Oh,
no,
okay.
no. It's kind of better in a way. Um, and he says a bass player. I said, "Well, let's grab a bass. Let's just play some blues." So we just did. So we was just playing some blues, and it wasn't until they posted it on social media that it was only Hendrix's first blooming bass player, wasn't it?
Oh my God.
And he was like, "You never told me that. I would have taken him to dinner and never let him go." Oh,
Oh, so you got a similar
Wow.
story.
But it makes for a better story, you know?
oh, yeah. I mean, do you know what? It's terrible because I can't remember his name now. Oh, my head's terrible. But he was a lovely guy, and he was like 90, and he looked a lot younger than me. You know,
Wow.
which was even more annoying. But you
Yeah.
know, yeah. I mean, if only I'd have known. I might well have been told, but there's so much noise going on at NARM,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
can't
it's
hear
loud
what's
there.
going on.
There's
And
about
like,
40
I
guys playing
literally,
Stairway to Heaven, another 40 guys
yeah.
playing
I
Smoke on
would
the Water.
never. I would have literally chained him somewhere. Said, "Tell me this, tell me that." You know, because
Yeah.
So the
How
time
but
we
you
have
never
left,
know.
we were going to talk about challenges of being an older guy.
Oh,
I find
crikey,
that I'm
yeah.
forgetting lyrics more often, and I sometimes I get
Uh,
like a cramp in my arm or something zapping down my forearm.
yeah.
Certainly can't do too many jumps anymore. Boy, that
Oh no. I
I
think
did a
my breakdancing days are over.
I did a Townsend windmill at one gig, and I had to go to an orthopedic surgeon. I had my rotator cuff looked
uh,
at.
yeah. It doesn't get any easier, does it? You know.
So, is there any major challenges for you as an older
At the
guy?
moment, it's okay. I think my little finger is starting to
Get that trigger finger
just,
thing going on?
yeah, if I'm stretching that far now, it can, I can get over it. It's not too bad. It can give me a bit of jip, but apart from that, really, at the moment, I'm really lucky. You know, everything's still kind of fluid. It's just my brain that's gone. You
Yeah.
know, and yeah, trying to remember things and oh crikey,
You know, so we're gonna go on with the interview. He's just gonna blurt out, "David Johnson." That's the guy's name. What? What? Oh, from before. You remember?
I tell you, it's really annoying me what his
And he's gonna
blooming name
find the
was.
connection for the wire after the show's over too.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm lucky at the moment. I mean, obviously as time goes on, you've got to realise that your body is. Funnily enough, I've been saying for at least 10 years, I'm gonna get back into biking. And something always crops up every year
Yeah.
that you just
Life
can't
gets in the
afford it or
way.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this year I've had a couple of hospital visits
Yeah.
for surgery and what have you, and you know that things ain't so good. And I was rushed back in after an operation because this is how unlucky my life gets. I went in for planned operation to get rid of my gallbladder,
Right.
Because that's been giving me stick for goodness knows how long. Um, and literally, I got released the same night. I thought, well, this isn't too bad. It hurts, but we're all right. We're in good shape. 7 o'clock the next morning, I felt like the alien was coming out of my stomach.
Oh, dear.
Oh
And I've
no.
never felt pain like it. So my wife rang the ward. They said, get him to A&E now. So literally, she rushed me down to the hospital. I got 3 paces outside the car and collapsed into the flower bed, and I was
Oh, my
coughing up
goodness.
Oh
blood
my
and
God.
all stuff. But actually, believe it or not, that was the best thing that happened, because then they just come straight out with a chair and whip me. I didn't have to wait in an accident and emergency. I was straight in.
Yeah.
Right.
And it turns out that it was nothing to do with the operation. That had gone fine. I'd also now just picked up a kidney stone.
Oh,
Oh,
my
that's
So I'd
goodness.
had an operation one day to get rid of gallstones, and just that's the way my luck goes.
it's
Then I get a kidney stone, which is not a lot of fun.
no, it's not the good thing, because I've had them
Oh,
too, is that
oh,
we could legitimately say that it's because I've had multiple doctors and women who've had kids tell me it's more painful
yeah.
than childbirth.
The childbirth. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they said exactly the same to me.
Oh, my
I've
goodness.
never known pain
Oh,
like that. Holy
no,
crap.
nor have I.
Yeah.
They were jacking me up with that. What is it? Morphine. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Never
saying I
heard of it.
need more. No,
Yeah.
like it's
Oh.
not touching me. We can't give you any more. Just chuck it in. You know.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
That is
And
bad.
literally that was the catalyst. I said, right, that's it. I'm buying a bike. That's it. I don't care now. Blow the money. We just do it. So wife's
Yeah.
really
Well, be
Oh,
supportive.
careful
good.
on those bikes. My friend just had a
So
terrible accident on his bike.
oh no, don't say
Not
that.
motorcycle, even a bicycle.
Yeah.
Oh, right, bicycle. No, no, no,
Just
no.
be
I much
careful.
prefer
That's
one with
wear
a
a
wheel.
helmet and be careful.
Yeah.
Oh no, I do. But the thing is, as it's so wide, it's like my hips now giving me problems. But so I'm not sure how long my biking career is going to last now. But there we go. So you've got to realise that up here I'm still 18.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all that
If
well,
that,
most of what matters.
I
yeah,
think rock and
if
roll keeps
that,
you young. We have a lot of older rockers out
yeah,
there doing it, at
Yeah, I
70,
agree.
80, 90. I mean,
Yeah.
there
yeah.
are no rules.
I refuse to grow up. I'm sorry.
No,
I
Yeah.
you
just
should not.
refuse.
Same
None of
here.
us will.
No.
Look at me. Do I look like I grew up at all? And I love your shirt,
What's
by
the
the way. I have
point?
to give a shout out to those guys. I love their
Oh
YouTube
yeah,
channel.
Liam
I
Pete
I'm,
are great.
I would love to have them on their show one of these days, but they do their own thing.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
I was
very
on
busy.
there. Yeah, I did a couple of
Now,
videos
did
with
they only
them.
have one location in the UK, or they have
Yes.
multiple? Yeah, just one.
No, just it's the one shop. They've also got a big warehouse as well,
Yeah,
which feeds the shop because they're really huge. But the, we've had two now big major retailers go bust in this
oh
country.
boy.
It's there's no margins in this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
No.
It's a tough industry now, and if and a lot of people are buying online now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We can't lose the local guitar shop.
I know.
You guys
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that.
We have
It's
over here. We pretty much have. It's
oh,
yeah,
you
so
have
yeah.
yeah.
There's not many mom and pop stores left.
No.
Or
really
yeah,
Yeah. My
we have to
best
get out to
guitar memories.
We have to get out to
Yeah.
California to see Chuck's setup.
Yeah. Bootlegger.
I'm an endorser for a company called Bootlegger Guitar out in Hermosa Beach, California,
I can't
oh,
reach
and
okay.
mine.
he's
I'm
got
trying to
this
reach
really
it.
cool like bourbon,
Ah.
cigar lounge, and with lots of leather chairs, and you hang around, But he has a massive internet presence too. He sells a lot of stuff
All right,
worldwide online, so he's got the
cool,
best of both worlds.
right.
It's going so
But
well. He
we
opened up a new shop.
There's my
but
bootlegger
we
right
need
there.
these shops, we
Yeah,
do because. But then the whole world it's not just music stores. The high street is going.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because everybody buys off Amazon, and I'm probably just as guilty as everybody else. So,
It's
Yeah.
hey,
very.
what
It's
can I
hard not
say?
to.
I just bought a
It is
guitar for
hard not to.
$120 last week. $120. I thought it was going to
I
be
bet
utter
it's good
shit,
though.
and it's fine.
Great.
I bought
What
it because
was
it
it?
looks cool for the aesthetic look of it. If I'm doing a specific show, and I wanted an SG, and I don't
Right,
own an SG, so I said, well, let
right.
me see if I can make something nice out of it so I could use it for one
Yeah.
set and then sell it probably. But it turned out to be
What?
really great.
Yeah. What make was it?
Leo James, it's called.
All right. I don't know that one. I mean,
Yeah, it's a
I've
Chinese company. It's Amazon, 120
right.
bucks, and I thought it was going to be utter garbage, and it was. I just did a
No,
review on it yesterday.
you don't have to spend a lot of money
Yeah.
nowadays. You really
No.
don't.
No.
I've done. I think I've got about 5 or 6 Harley Benton guitars. I'm waiting for some more to turn
Harley
up.
Benton stuff's incredible.
And this, I cannot believe how good those guitars are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are genuinely, utterly brilliant for the money.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
I've got 2 Ivy guitars, and they're wonderful.
right.
Under $200.
Mhm.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
don't need to spend the money anymore.
The good
mean,
news
you
is the
know-
students can get a quality instrument for
Yes.
a lower price.
Yeah.
That is a great thing now. You know, like I said, when I first started, you couldn't buy a decent budget guitar.
Yeah.
Now it's hard not to.
Yeah.
You know,
They're all
there are
good.
still there are a couple out there that I wouldn't definitely wouldn't
Yeah. Sometimes
recommend.
it's hit or miss,
But-
but you know, if you know how to set them up, you can get them to work.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
just like that, we're at an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, crikey.
That's the best
Wait.
thing about our show. It feels like 10 minutes.
I think we got to wrap it up
Yeah.
here. So again, Old Grey Guitarist Academy. Check that out. You check the QR code. It sounds like a fantastic resource for beginners.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely check that out. Just scan the QR
Yeah,
code
it's
there.
you know, it's very reasonably priced. You know, we put a lot of effort into it. It's all filmed in 4K and what have you. But it's like I just want people. I've tried to do it as if the person's in the room with me.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, so it's as I teach as I normally do face to face. You know, because and you're never going to beat face to face, and you never will. There isn't a course alive that will be as good as a good teacher will be face to face.
Absolutely.
You know, but not everybody's got access to that.
Right.
You know, some people might be a bit more remote, or there might not be a good teacher in the area. There's a lot of people teaching that maybe, you know, all they want to do is just show off. You know, I see that all the time, and you know, it's really, you know, yeah, no, it's and you know, yeah, it's like I say, you'll never beat face to face.
I've given Dave a couple of lessons, but nothing's rubbing off. Maybe he needs to take your course.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, I think I just got insulted.
Possibly.
I think the first list of songs that came over to your house to show you, I was like way over your head, and I'm like, I got to really get this a lot simpler for you.
Yeah.
And so the second time we got together was a lot better.
We did well.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you play together as well in a band, or?
We did about 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Got it.
Yeah.
But now I'm doing my own thing. Actually, I'm on hiatus from my band because of my work schedule, so they have somebody filling in for me all summer. But I'm enjoying my summer off, and I'm playing. I'm jamming every Tuesday. I got my little jam party tonight. We're going to do some Black Sabbath stuff, I think.
If I can ask you a question, because I've just got involved with another company actually called E-Record. I think they've got some really good ideas. They're basically, it's an online where you can jam with other people.
Yeah.
So you can record with other people. You all kind of play along to the track, record it on your phone, and then they put it all together for you. You know, do you think there's, and I'm just being genuine, like, you know, do you think that's a good idea?
It's a great idea. During COVID, I was involved in a company called Kazam, which is the same type of thing. However, you have to put everything together yourself, and I couldn't pull it off. The latency was weird.
They're going to do that for you.
I like
That's
that.
what. Yes,
If you could
that
just
is a
straight out
name.
play, and they can somehow piece it together for you, I think that would be huge.
Yes, I think it's a good idea. You know, because you know, not everybody's got access to play with other people,
Right.
or you know that they're nervous, they don't want to meet people face to face, and I get that. Whereas if they can record their own thing, you know, on their phone at home and then send it in, and then you know the software then puts it together with the other instruments.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
I think it's a really good idea.
And it could be encouraging because then you get a nice finished product, and it encourages you to play more. So that can be good too.
Yeah, and I think it's great for beginners, and then you can meet other people as well. And there might be someone just around the corner. You don't know, do you? The world's a village. I've
Yeah.
met
It is.
people, you know, halfway around the world that live in the next street. You know,
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. It's
It's
crazy.
good stuff.
All right, Dave. I think we should wrap it up here, and I really appreciate you, John, coming on with us.
Oh,
Chat. It
this
was
is
a great.
Oh, thanks, guys.
I already forgot what we talked about. I can't wait to edit this
I
together.
know. This was fabulous, and we love your energy. Good, positive,
man.
humble energy.
Thanks.
So
Yeah,
it's
keep
great
up the good
stuff.
work, and try not to make Dave cry the next time you play guitar.
No.
Oh, keep doing it, man. I want to cry again. That was great. Yeah.
Let's end the
right.
show with Jeremy Asbrock and the fellows that play with Ace Frehley this summer.
Oh, that's right.
Ryan and Jeremy, they're fantastic.
Ryan Cook.
Ryan Cook.
There
Ryan
we
Spencer
go.
Cook. See,
Right.
there's my mind,
The old
John.
brain. It took
Scott's two brains to figure out Ryan's name because he's got
Scott's
three
brain,
names. He couldn't have one.
Scott's brain plus my brain equals one brain.
Yeah.
Ryan, change your name to Sting or something so it's easier to remember.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you again. Have a good night.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
See ya.
Hey everybody,
Hey, what's up? Jeremy here.
Ryan here, and where are we, Jeremy?
We are at Mohegan Sun in Lucasville
Connecticut
and surrounding communities.
and surrounding communities. So we're here to tell you we're having a great show tonight. We're going to have a great show
Wait.
tonight.
Who do we play with?
Ace Frehley.
We play with Ace Frehley.
We do play with Ace Frehley. And we're here to tell you to go watch Guitar Tales with
Dave Cohen.
our favorite show. We love it. We've been on there. It's a good time. Those guys are good. A lawyer
And a pharmacist.
and a pharmacist.
You know what that means? They got way more money than us.
They sure do. Don't be in a band. Be a pharmacist or a lawyer. We love you guys. Bye.
See ya.